In Norway Chess, we had one of the most viral moments of 2025. When Gukesh won, Magnus banged the table. And incidentally, only Gukesh's king did not fall. Magnus's king fell twice, once on the board and one literally. Gukesh's win was symbolic. But Viswanathan Anand, the OG, the 5-time world champion, he has an explanation as to why Magnus Carlsen had that reaction. Because speaking to the Norway Chess broadcasters, he stated, I think something he wanted to establish. He wanted to draw some line in the sand and tell all these kids, hang on a few years. But this meant a lot. I think a 2-0 win against Gukesh here, he would have been very, very happy. He wanted to prove a point. Why do you think Magnus Carlsen had that tweet in which when he won against Gukesh, he mentioned, if you want to come after the king, you better not miss. Karma struck back. Carlsen blundered, Gukesh capitalized, and now when you look at it, it's 2-1. It's 1-1 in Norway, and that is why this is very, very sweet when you have to look at an Indian chess player. Viswanathan Anand reveals that yes, Magnus Carlsen want to tell all these guys, I am still here, I am still the king of the mountain. Do not even try to topple me. But that is what it happened. The likes of Arjun, the likes of Pragnananda, the likes of Gukesh now are in that elite category in which they beat him on a frequent basis. And that is why somewhere the cracks might seem to come. Anand goes on to mention, why did he bang that table? He says, against any opponent on earth, he would have hated losing such a good position. I mean, to miss that knight comes back to haunt him. I felt exactly the same way when I blew my game against Magnus 3 years ago in 2022 in Norway. Anybody in that position, imagine for most of the game, Magnus was dominating. Until that move to knight e2, he was still in a drawish position. He could have won an Armageddon. But no, he blundered, and that is why he just banged on the table. Viswanathan Anand reveals that yes, there have been other instances also. He reveals one very specific incident during the World Cup. Apparently, Vasily Ivanchuk, when he lost his game, he flung the chair across the hall. That was how angry he was. But now Ivanchuk at 56 continues to inspire. He's one of the ultimate statesmen in world chess. And that is why a very angry Ivanchuk, a volatile Ivanchuk at that time, it's very difficult to picture. But yes, it has happened. Gukesh also in one game in 2021, he banged at the table after losing. Because on that position, you do get frustrated. But Anand reckons that how could he have lost it? Why did he make such a blunder? It could be the fatigue. It could be this new time control in Norway Chess. Remember, you're not given the standard time procedures that is there. You get 10-second increment in classical, you get maybe a 1-second increment in the Armageddon, and after move 40, you get about some kind of bits. So immediately after classical chess, you have to play a tiebreaker in Armageddon. It could be fatigue. Here we have this thing where we have classical chess and then we have a sudden death Armageddon and tiebreak. Very difficult for the mind to adjust in that sense. So Viswanathan Anand believes 5-time world champion reveals that another 5-time champion could have gone through these particular gambit of emotions. But do you think Magnus's action was justified? Because the question was asked, will FIDE look into it? Maybe not. He says you have to balance things out. FIDE traditionally doesn't look at all these kind of things. It's not indiscipline. It's not as if Magnus flung the table and then whacked Gukesh on the head with the board. Then that was violence. But there was no violence in this. As he very calmly and very jestfully remarked, no chess players were harmed in the filming of this video. So that is where the line in the sand has been drawn. It's 1-1 in Norway Chess and will end that way. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.